Topic 3, Lesson 6, Multiplying Greater Numbers. You will multiply two-digit numbers by factors with more than 2 digits today. All right, get your notebooks, pencils, and books ready. This is the top of page 70. Let's go ahead and get started. It says, how do you multiply 3-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers? Okay, let's look at the story problem. It says, last month a bakery sold 389 trays of bagels. How many bagels did the store sell last month? Okay, so I know, at least the question here, that it says, how many bagels did the store sell last month? And I'm going to square month because that could be important. And then it says, in the problem, it says last month a bakery sold 389 trays of bagels. And then in the picture, it tells us that there are 12 bagels per tray. So this one you had to look at the picture to help you know what to do. So since there are 12 bagels in a tray and they sold 389 trays, we don't need to know that there are 30 or 31 days in a month. So that's not important. But I do know that I need to multiply 389 times 12 to find how many bagels they sold last month. So I'm going to solve the problem over here on the right so we can see the steps. All right, so I guess I don't need to do that. I'm going to take the ones times the ones. That's what it says to do in step 1. So that is 18, 8 ones, 110. Then I'm taking 8 times 2, or in other words, 80 times 2, but 8 times 2 is 16, plus the additional 10, 17. Okay, and then I have a new 100, so I need to put that new 100 up here. 3 times 2, I'm going to draw my arrows to show what I'm doing here. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6, plus an additional 100 is 700, which is exactly what they have here in their first partial product. Okay, moving on to the next digit in 12. And I'm going to use a different color so we can see. All right, so we have 1 or 10 times 9. But before I do that, I almost made the mistake of not putting my placeholder here because remember, it's like saying 10 times 9 and 10 times 80 and 10 times 300. So that's why we need that 0 there because it will be a number in the thousands. All right, so 9 times 1 we know is 9. Okay, 8 times 1 or 80 times 10 is 8. And then we have 300 times 10 or 3 times 1, which is 3. That one we didn't have to do any regrouping. And then we add the partial products and we will get the same answer that they have below. 9 plus 7 is 16, 15, 16. Okay, so we know that it costs, or excuse me, they made 4,668, or they sold, I'm sorry, sold that many bagels last month. In other words, this is the same process that you've been doing to multiply 2-digit by 2-digit, but it's just you've got an extra digit that you need to remember you need to multiply by, but you have the same number of partial products when it's 3-digit by 2-digit. All right, so I'll do number 1 with you, and then it also says estimate to check that your answer is reasonable. We can do that beforehand, or we can do that after to see if it's reasonable. Let's do it before real quick. So 236 is about 200. Okay, and 200 times 46, that's close to 50. Okay, so I know that 2 times 5 is 10. So I know I already got a 0 in my product because 2 and 5 are 10. And then I've got 3 extra zeros here in my factors that I need to include. Okay, so my answer should be around 10,000. Okay, so get that out of my way here. Maybe. Okay, so let's do 6 times 6. And that is 36. Put my 3 tens up there. Then I have 6 times 3, which is 18, 19, 20, 21. My new hundreds. Okay, and then 6 times 2, which is 12, 13, 14. So I've got 14 1,416. Okay, then I need to put in my placeholder. Okay. All right, then we have 4 times 6, which is 24. I gotta put this 2 above my 3. Don't need the 3 anymore. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. New 100. Okay, and then we have 4 times 2 plus the 1. It's getting a little messy. 8, 9. All right. So, well, 9,440 is pretty close to 10,000. So our answer should be correct, or at least close. All right, and then we can do, okay, so 10,856. And that is close to 10,000, so our answer is reasonable. All right, so when you solve the rest of these, just keep in mind that you have more numbers to keep track of. And the other things that I'm noticing is that we need to make sure we're multiplying our facts correctly, so that way it doesn't mess up the whole entire answer. Okay, so numbers, do the rest of the guided practice, and then numbers 5 and 6. Okay, writing to explain, make sure you explain why, and use the bagel example. All right, good luck, guys. Do your best.